Hi, this is Peter Godinez, your Ambassador for Public Sector and Community. I have a wonderful opportunity to be interviewing Stephen Gama, who is running for the City Council of the City of Port Hueneme. And we're looking forward to getting to know you here in this interview. Would that be okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You know, I think it's always appropriate to start at the beginning, if they say, but can you tell us where you're born, where your foundation is, your childlike education, all that? So take us through a little journey through that, if you would, Stephen.
I was born in the Oxnard Community Hospital, which is no longer in existence.
It was on A Street or J Street, one of those
Yeah,
things?
it was near the old Oxnard High School.
I know it well, yes.
Yeah, and my dad, Dr. Carlos Gama, actually delivered me. Although he wasn't my father at the time, he became my father 2 years into my life when he adopted me.
Wow, so tell us first about that. I mean, Dr. Gama is a popular name that I'm sure a lot of people recognize in the area, but he was significant, but there's a second part of that. So can you tell us about Dr. Gama?
Yeah, he was a man of great giving. He was known for providing free health care to those who couldn't afford it. He dedicated himself to the immigrant farm community. He set up his office in Colonia. My biological father's parents were immigrant farm workers, and my biological father, for personal reasons, and what I would say is an act of love, gave up his parental rights to me and allowed me to be adopted by Dr. Gama.
Now that's amazing, because having those two men in your life, I know it's got to have a significant impact in who I'm looking at right now. So what were some of the things that you think you learned? Again, somebody who was a giver, somebody who, obviously it's one of the reasons how you ended up in risk management with some of your conversations with him. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. My father managed a lot of the farm laborer industrial injuries through workers' comp, and he would constantly be working with the farmers to try and help them lower their insurance costs by trying to get them to institute and implement proactive measures to protect the health of farm laborers. I recall early on in my life where we would go and help elderly patients of my father move out of their homes and into a family home or a nursing home. And it was quite an eye-opening experience for a young kid.
So when you say young kid, were you double digits at that point?
No, this is before I was 10 years old.
Wow. So you're just like in awe just watching your dad just having this great conversation and impacting people's lives then.
Well, it's in awe, but it's also in sadness too, because you're seeing elderly couple unable to take care of themselves anymore. And if not for my family being there to help them transition into a care facility or arrangement, yeah, it really does impact you as a young person. You think about what it means to be self-sufficient. I mean, you have to work hard in this country.
So you had a first opportunity at a young age to learn how to exercise empathy and feel other people's emotions and pains and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And that's affected you now, obviously.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, you know, that's one of the things that my father instilled in all of us, is to always be willing to help people and reach out.
How many siblings, since you brought that up? I know you, sounds like you have an entourage of people.
Yeah, we had like a Brady Bunch type.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, we had
How many were there?
six
So
kids in
four
my
and four?
family. 6 kids.
A shaggy dog and all that?
We had a couple shaggy dogs.
Named, what's her name? But
Yeah, we have an interesting family. We have a mix of, my father had 3 children from a prior marriage, and my mom had my brother and I, Richard. And then between them they had 1 child named James. So we had 6 kids in total.
we'll have to do a different show in terms of like dinner conversation, in terms of how that went, if there were food fights or utilities thrown like in my family.
There was food fights, boxing matches, and all kinds of other stuff.
That kind of stuff will shape you most definitely. Now see, you've had some incredible experiences, and it's really good we're getting some backgrounds as to, okay, this is who I'm actually sitting in front of. So now running for city council, what do you think some of the things you think you're going to bring to the table, your experience, to some of the key topics? And again, you have them listed here, but I'll let you choose the ones that you think are really important to talk to. So do you want to start off with one specifically?
Absolutely, but before I do that, I want to
Please.
finish answering your prior question.
Oh, you know what? I've been known to
And then
cut people off, so go ahead.
After I graduated from Rio Mesa, I went to Ventura College, and
Okay.
then I went to California Lutheran University and was part of the first class of CLU. It used to be called California Lutheran College. So anyways,
That's so funny.
I'm running for city council because I've been alarmed at what has been occurring here in the city of Port Hueneme. It's a beautiful city, it's a small city, and it's a complicated city to understand the history of it. So having seen the dysfunction and not liked it, I feel that I could bring problem solving and new energy and passion to the council.
Any specific subjects or methodology you want to bring in, philosophies that you think would really have immediate impact once stepping into the position?
Well, on the first and foremost, I think we need to implement crystal clear transparency. And what I mean by that is when things go bad is when we really need to be transparent. Everybody's for talking about the good things, but when we have problems, we need to be transparent. And I think by doing that, we bring in solutions from the outside. You know, when you share with the community, hey, we have a problem, this is where we're at, and then it just shows that we're all humans and we all can contribute to a solution. So that's my big priority is open communications, crystal clear transparency. On the more fundamental side, fiscal reform is absolute priority. Public safety, another priority. Improving the local economy, a huge priority, and it ties into fiscal reform. We need to protect our beach, we need to save our beach, we need to have a good sand replenishment plan in place, and we need to utilize volunteers. And I really want to see us bring together volunteerism as a method to deal with our fiscal issues.
See, that's a good thing, and that's why I mentioned some of the alumni. Maybe those people will sign up to be volunteers. Hey, remember we used to be in kindergarten class together? Yes, I'd like to volunteer. I wanted to ask you what I think a vital role that education and the institutes here play in the development of this community. Would you like to address that?
Yeah, I have some experience having worked for Oxnard Union High School District for 1996 to 2012 as a director of risk management and safety. And looking at our community, we have to acknowledge that we're in a low socioeconomic area. And if you look at the statistics for low economic areas, you see that education falls behind for our residents. And that's something that as a city councilman I really can't do much about. But I could share my experiences with the local school board and hope to encourage attention and effort towards the health of students. At Oxnard Union High School District, I managed two important programs, and they were called the Medi-Cal Administrative Activities and Medi-Cal Reimbursement Program. And because our community is Medicare eligible heavy, so to speak, we need to make sure not only the city but the school districts are taking advantage of grants and programs directed towards improving the health of young people. And that has an impact on the city, because if we can improve the health of young people, that means they're going to get a better education. And if they get a better education, that means they're going to be a better participant in society. And that's what the goal of the city council and local school agencies should be.
Now, I'm glad to see the city interacting and connecting with the, in this case, the Hueneme School District, and realizing it's, the status quo is probably not a good thing, but to be able to say, okay, we got to change this now, and maybe your risk management is kind of like the driver for that portion of it. So.
Yeah, the risk management process is a pretty simple process. It's identify the problem, develop alternatives to deal with the problem, select the most promising alternative, implement that alternative, and monitor the results. And oftentimes, government and business they forget about the monitoring the results portion of it, because you learn, you're never going to have a solution that's time tested. It's always going to have to change. So yes, the risk management process is very important in all processes, particularly in government, because you need to monitor the results of any policy or decision you made. And if you're not meeting the objective, then it's time to change the alternative, or tweak it and make it better.
But just in wrapping up, if you could just tell the audience, they're going to step into the booth to vote. I mean, what do you want them to experience when they see your name on the ballot? And you're number one on the ballot. Do you remember?
Honestly, I don't pay attention to what
all right.
I am on the ballot.
I just thought that was.
I do know how to spell my last name. It's G-A-M-A.
There you go. But what do you want when somebody looks at your name? What positive experience do you want them to go through when they see your name?
I want the public to know that I'm going to be working hard to develop volunteerism and bring new ideas and new people to the city of Port Hueneme. I want the public to also know that we want to truly be the friendly city by the sea. We want to make our ordinances and policies be business friendly so that businesses can consider expanding and moving forward to bring more to the city of Port Hueneme. I want the residents to know that that we are going to get our fiscal house in order, and that we are going to utilize our beach, which is our biggest asset, to increase our revenues. I want the people to also know that we're going to work closely with the Navy, the port, the local school districts, and the city, and we're going to be sensitive to each and one of their needs. And we're going to be considerate too. We're not just going to expect people to gravitate to decisions that we make. What we want to do is make sure people are involved in the decision-making process. And so hopefully I think people will see me as somebody that has a lot of energy, a lot of positive, bold, new ideas to bring to the city of Port Hueneme.
Perfect. Stephen, thank you so much for investing time with us today. I appreciate you, and much success in your journey. And so with that, I want to say this is Peter Godinez, your Ambassador for Public Sector and Community. Until next time.
Thank you.